I lived in Pacific Beach at the time, and we just kind of lived in this like weird apartment in Pacific Beach. Yeah, he stayed with me for almost a year. At least it felt like a year. Yeah, it was a skate house, and we lived right across the street from the Alien Workshop house. That's how kind of those relationships started. But
yeah, the Alien house was right across the street, and it was right up my alley. I mean, it was like Clyde Singleton, Kelly Bird, Drake Jones, Lenny Kirk, and Rob Dyrdek. I mean, all those guys were there, and it was dominoes, dice, 40s, and weed. And that's what I liked. So I hung out with them all the time.
We lived in the most psycho party house that was like, not only was it like, you know, the whole Alien team and Bokma and Weiss and just madness, like one of the craziest times of my entire life, where not only did the four of us live there, but then it was just absolute mayhem every single night, like chicks and rolling dice every night. It was like the most psycho skate house of all time.
No, they had the party house, and they had chicks and stuff, you know, like it was obvious, like, you know. I got it. I thought it was cool, like, you know, we were like skate homies, you know? And then he would go over and hang out at the Alien house for like, to get into like party scene and whatever, you know, smoking weed or cigarettes or whatever, so. It was cool. I would go over there too sometimes, and I wouldn't stay as long as Josh. Josh would stay every night, just, like we lived like across the street, so he would just walk back to my house at like 3 in the morning. And then we'd go skate the next day, and then after we were done skating at night, we'd get some food together, and then he'd go to the Alien house and hang it, and I would like, I don't know, hang out with a girl or watch a movie or something. I had such a mellow lifestyle, you know. I was like, whatever, totally different worlds. So basically, he lived with me for like, I don't know, 6 months to a year, and we made the heavy metal video, and he was killing it in the heavy metal zone. And we were filming every day. We were just doing random lines in California, and it was sick. And we had a really good time at filming that part, and it was a lot of fun. And he was skating so good, you know. He 3-flipped the trash can off the smallest bump in the world. Like basically, it was like a little ripple in the parking lot, and 3-flipped straight over a trash can. At the time, it was like phenomenal. Like nobody had seen that. I remember like when that came out, people were tripping. Just the way he did tricks too, it was so proper and so like unique, you know.
A few years later, I moved to SF, and he was there with Jamie right when they were filming for a Toy Machine video. And then I watched this part, and I was tripping, like on how, like what an amazing skater he'd become from like that skate rat that I was chilling with, trying to figure out how to shoot photos of like 3-4 years earlier. You know, it was crazy. Yeah, that's his Switch Crook. I remember he just filmed that like a day or two prior for his Toy Machine part.
It was cool, but you know, Jamie was always real cool and real nice. But I mean, he's a workhorse, and he's got a different work ethic than me. I told you my work ethic is like, I need to be enjoying what I do and having fun, and then I'm a workhorse. Jamie wants to like make sure he goes and gets what he needs to get, you know what I mean? And I wasn't that dude, you know? Like, I like to hang out and work, and he liked to go to work, you know? And we just didn't click like that.
Oh my gosh! You all right, man? You bumped your bill? Oh my gosh!
I mean, he lived with straight edge, like hardcore Jamie Thomas at Jamie Thomas's rawest, you know what I mean? Living in a little apartment in PB, like grinding, like, you know, like just building what he would, you know, later become. And like, you know, as much as Jamie had helped him, and he just wasn't like that, you know? He just wasn't in that sort of mindset.
He like played too many practical jokes on me, you know what I mean? Like I was kind of a serious dude who was just getting out of like being a tough guy. I just couldn't get down with it, you know? I couldn't get down with like Ed's crazy, I couldn't eat hamburgers in the house just because like he's this crazy vegetarian and the smell bothered him. So I had to eat outside all the time, and I just couldn't deal with it. We were two completely different people, you know?
Basically, he smoked, and I used to buy him food, but I wouldn't buy him cigarettes because I was like kind of like straight edge dude or whatever at the time, and I just thought it was lame that like he had these addictions that I had to support, so I was just like refused to buy him cigarettes. So I swear he basically just would hustle me for cigarettes. He would ask me like, dude, if I do this trick and like this many tries, would you give me a pack of cigarettes? And so I would like bet him cigarettes for tricks. remember one time he won a carton off me, and he was so psyched. I asked him to 3-flip this flat gap. I told him I'd give him a carton of cigarettes if he made it, like next try or something, and he made it. And it was pretty gnarly at the time.
What's up, fool? I want my cigarettes, boy. How you gonna skate that good for cigarettes?
It's funny, a lot of people would think that you wouldn't fit in with the toy machine vibe. Like, you know what I mean? It's always like almost like trivia, like Josh Kales used to be on Toy Machine.
Shit, I didn't fit in that. That's why I quit, you know?
Even when I met him, he was over Toy Machine. I remember going to his apartment and like, I remember looking in his closet one time, you know, we were in his room and he looked in his closet and he had like stacks of t-shirts, like stacks of Toy Machine t-shirts in plastic, like brand new. And I mean, to me, that was like a trip. I mean, I was like, wow, man, you know, and then he was just like, yeah, man, like that's all garbage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna ride for Toy Machine. And I was just like thinking like, damn, dude, like, God, I kind of want a t-shirt, but I don't want to ask for one.
I was now into going to San Francisco. I stayed with Drake Jones all the time, and he was actually working out a little thing for me to get on reel. And I was riding reel boards, and like, I was gonna ride for real, 100%.
I kind of saw it coming though. He moved to San Francisco, and kind of just got a whole new crew and stuff, and we started talking a little less and less. You know, he was still riding for Toy Machine, but he was wearing different shoes every time I saw him. He was on flow for like 3 or 4 different shoe companies, you know. Yeah. I think he felt like he fit in more at Reel, you know. I mean, like you said, like, you know, Toy Machine was, you know, Ed, who was kind of artsy and quirky to himself, kind of about his whole vegan vibe, and I was, you know, hardcore skate focused, and I don't know, man. I can imagine why. I mean, I see the fit in, you know. I mean, he felt like he fit in.
And so the trade show came up, and Drake Jones came down, and he was like, yo, Thebo and those guys, they're ready to do it right now. And I was like, that's what's up. Like, all right, I'm going to go quit Toy Machine right now, right this minute. And he was like, all right. So I'm walking down the ASR hallway, and I make a right, and I just bump face to face with Dyrdek. And Dyrdek was like, where are you going right now? I was like, well, I'm going to quit Toy Machine. And he was like, for who? And I was like, before I could even say real, he's like, we'll cut you a check right now. And I was like, oh, shit, let's do it. And that was it. I went and met Chris Carter, and he wrote me a check right there. I think it was like $250 or some shit, you know? And he was like, boop.
It was really a mutual, like, oh, I'd love to ride for Alien, you know? It'd be so sick if I was on, like, Alien team. Like, you guys have so much fun. It's just, that'd be sick. And be like, dude, like, you're on. If you want to be on, you're on. Like, no, that don't say, really, though? We'd be like, yeah, you're on, and that's really how it worked. That's how he works. Like, he'd be like, oh, like, say something like, "How sick," and like, yep, you're on, you know.
Once I figured out that Alien was a real option, and you know, that's where I hung out with every day, you know, and I had to do it. I was like, fuck, those are my homies. Boom.
Yeah, of course it was a bummer, man. I mean, I was, you know, like at any time when you like help somebody out and you like help them out of whatever situation they're in, and I kind of was like the dude he leaned on for a long time, you know, like for emotional and financial support, like in every aspect, you know. And when you give like that, I mean, it obviously feels good to help somebody out, but if, you know, they're able to just break it off at like a moment's notice, it feels kind of gnarly, you know. It's almost like you're in like a relationship or something. I mean, not to sound too sappy, but it was pretty heavy. I remember being like pretty bummed, you know. Like it rocked me for like a week or two, you know, like where I was just like lump in your throat, like, it sucks, you know. It was never really that weird between us, you know what I mean? I was a little bit butthurt for a while, you know, but, you know, I mean, I got over it, you know. And when I'd see him, I'd always act like it was cool, even if I was, like, you know, a little bitter still. It was all right, man. I got over it, and, you know, we just moved on. And at any rate, I saw him, like, 5 years later. I came through Philly, and he, like, you know, sat me down, like, you know, we were, like, away from the, you know, the crew for a minute. And he was just like, man, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you helping me out back in the day, you know. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in skating right now. And just kind of want you to know that, you know. And I was like, cool, man, thanks, you know.
Yeah, I gotta give way more credit to my dude Jamie Thomas, man. Like, that dude made all this shit possible for me. He when he gave me the opportunity to come out here and like paid for me for 6-8 months or whatever, you know, just for me to like turn around and quit the company that I rode for with him. I mean, that dude pretty much paved the whole way for me, man. It's like, I guess if I owe anyone in this shit, it would be him. You know what I mean? He's a good dude.
It would have been funny if you were in Welcome to Hell.
Yeah, I think I just missed that one. I just missed Welcome to Hell. You know, actually, it was probably a good thing I missed Welcome to Hell because I had already broken both ankles and a foot by that time, and I just couldn't be a stair jumper or a rail jumper anymore, and I don't know what the hell I would have done if I would have stayed and, you know, Jamie takes me to the rail spot. It's like, oh my God.